I'm Ken. For my Do Something project, I choose energy-related tour. I went on a sustainable home tour supported by Minnesota Renewable Energy Society and American Solar Energy Society. We formed a small group to travel to 3 different self-sustainable houses, 1 located in St. Paul and 2 in Minneapolis. They all have installed a solar PV array on house and garage roofs. The initial cost will pay back within 5 to 10 years. It is a national, free, and self-guided event that is open to public. The purpose of this tour is to learn and explore the sustainable living practices, such as solar grids, electric vehicles, and monitoring system. This tour is designed to help spread knowledge of sustainable living practices by connecting homeowners to the curious public. Here is some background information. First question to ask ourselves, why do we need renewable energy, such as solar power? Short answer to that is global warming, caused by production of greenhouse gases. From the figure, generating 1 million watt-hour energy a station traditionally produces 1,500 pounds of carbon dioxide and causes the increase of global temperature by 1.8 Celsius, whereas if we use solar power, by generating the same amount of energy from solar board, it produced 0 carbon dioxide. The first house we visited was in St. Paul, owned by Juka. Here is a picture of us standing in front of the solar board on the roof with the house owner in the middle. His house has 2.8 kilowatt and 8.6 kilowatt solar boards and operate as a microgrid. They provide significant energy to power up the entire house, charge electric cars, and more impressively, at peak days, those boards share spare energy to the community. Here is Juka explaining his solar system in the house. 80% of his solar board are on the roof and 20% on the garage. The initial cost is around $9,000 and the payback will come around in about 6 to 10 years. The main reason why the initial cost is so high because of the extra cost of installation. The installation not only includes the primary solar panels, but also the controllers, batteries, and inverters needed to tie this system into existing electrical system in the house. To briefly explain how the system works, firstly, the solar panel captures sunlight and converts to electricity. Secondly, the controller serves as a regulator for electricity flow. Thirdly, the battery are the reservoirs for the energy storage. And lastly, the inverter converts the energy to run the standard electrical equipments. The second house we visited was in Minneapolis, owned by Julian. He likes to promote the solar power in the community, and better yet, he taught his son to install a small solar panel on top of a small backyard cabin. He has also installed a solar board on the roof and covers 70% of his electricity bill. To have a general idea of how much an average house pays for electricity in Minnesota, our state pays a relatively low utility fee, ranked at 37 among all states. Approximately, we pay 12 cents per kilowatt, so on average, a house consumes 800 kilowatts per month. So the student's house, which would pay around $108 per month for a year, the bill would go up to $1,300. With the 70% bill coverage with the solar system on his house, he pays as low as $32 a month and only $400 a year for electricity. Here is a picture of Julian showing his real-time solar energy monitoring system app. At the time of taking this picture, the real-time reading of energy generating from solar array was at 659 watts. One of the useful features is the performance monitoring on each individual solar board. It makes maintenance easy by locating the poor performing boards and simply send it back to factory for a replacement. The third house owned by Katie in Minneapolis is a triplex with solar arrays on roof and garage. It is the only triplex in Minnesota to have all electricity heating with solar power. The initial cost for solar is around $34,000. It has mounted 33 solar boards in total, 23 on the house and 10 on the garage. The payback will come around in 12 years. With such a large solar array, it produces 8,500 kilowatts-hour. The top right corner is a picture of Katie's monitoring app, and the bottom is the picture of one of her garages with solar array. The statistics shows the total energy consumption and energy generation in the past 24 hours. The red one represents the consumption in real time, the green one represents the generation. In the afternoon, The sunlight was sufficient to generate energy, and before noon, during midnight, no sunlight was present and only the consumption in red was shown. On average, the total consumption was at 4 kWh and energy generation during noon was 2 kWh. The net energy from the grid is 2 kilowatts, approximately 50 cents an hour. To conclude, the solar power is growing and cultivating in the community. The future with green renewable energy is promising, even though at current state, the initial cost might be high with a long payback period. The 3 house owners have taken further steps to help make a greener environment by using solar arrays to reduce the dependence on electricity generated from fuels. Here is a list for the solar energy tour and some technical information if you would like to learn more. Thanks for listening.